let's take a look at the graphs of inverses. Now, first question is, what do the graphs of inverses look like? Well, remember how we said you just switch the x's and y's. That's it. Let's pick out 2 points, because 2 points determine a line. I'm going to pick that one there and this one here. What are my ordered pairs here? Here I have, it looks like, so here, my x is 2, my y is 0, and here I have 0 for x, negative 4 for y. Well, let's get 2 points. Now if I switch those two, I'm going to have 0, 2, and negative 4, 0. I just switched my x's and y's. Now that we have our 2 points, let's plot them. So here we have 0, 2, so that goes right here. Negative 4, 0 goes right here. We connect the dots. Boom. That red line is our inverse of the function. Now it says, is the inverse a function? Well, if we remember, to tell something's a function, we can use our vertical line test. So if I'm looking at this red line here, anywhere I draw a vertical line, I will only intersect that red line in one spot. So I know that my inverse is indeed a function. So we would say, yes, excellent. For this problem, I'm going to give you what the graph of the inverse will look like, just for sake of time. We'll deal with the actual graphing of parabolas later on. Now, our question really is the inverse a function? So that red sideways parabola I drew is the inverse of function. Well, let's think about the vertical line test. If I draw a vertical line through any point here, it's going to go through more than one spot. So if it goes through the graph more than once, I know that it is not a function. So in this case, the inverse is not a function. So our answer is no. What this all comes down to is our horizontal line test. Much like the vertical line test in telling whether or not a graph is a function, this will tell us if the inverse of that graph is also a function. So let's see here. We want to determine whether the inverse of the function is also a function. Well, if I do my horizontal line test, does this line get intersected more than once at any spot? No, I can draw as many horizontal lines as I want. I'm never going to intersect this graph more than once. Well, let's see over here. Here, oh, I already intersected it twice. So I know that this graph here, the inverse of this graph, is not a function. So this would be a yes. This one would be no. Feel free to try that last one, pause the video, and then hear the explanation. With this one, I'm drawing my horizontal line to test. It's good so far, and whoop, now I went through 3 spots. So I know right off the bat, nope, it is not a function. The inverse of that graph is not a function. Now, this graph here is indeed a function itself, like this. I only pass through it once anytime I draw a vertical line, but the inverse of that graph is not a function.